What's up, guys? It's me again. I know. It's awesome. You guys are seeing me again. If you have watched all my videos, thank you. You're the best. If you have not watched all my videos, thank you. You're still the best because you're watching this one. But today, I want to talk about UFC. I just want to say, if you guys see me looking down, it's because I wrote down some stuff that important notes and stuff on my iPad. So I'm going to be probably looking down at my iPad. So yeah, so it's not that I'm just looking at my feet or anything. I'm just, reading what I wrote down and just taking mental notes of what do I need to talk and whatnot. Yeah, I watched UFC 314 last night. Kind of fell asleep on the Yair Rodriguez versus Patricio Pitbull fight. But besides that, I think it was awesome. Then I woke up this morning earlier and I watched the fights. So I was able to watch it. I did not watch any spoilers or anything, so I could get the full version of if it was the same thing as watching it live. So yeah, I don't know. I think it was an awesome one. I loved the fights. They were really good, most of them. And the ones I didn't like, it was not because they weren't good. It was just that I am not a fan of the fighter, But anyways, let's go right into this. So I want to start with my predictions, right? So let's start with Bryce Mitchell and John Silva. So in this fight, I was leaning more towards Silva just because I don't like Bryce Mitchell that much. I used to like him. I used to like his fighting style and stuff. But then after the stuff he said, I was like, I don't know. I'm not such a fan, I think yeah, I don't know. I'm not a fan just because of the stuff that he has said, Even though I'm a fan of Sean Strickland, he says crazy stuff also. I don't know. I think Bryce Mitchell went a little bit too over the top. But yeah, for this fight, I think John Silva, he's just such a smart fighter. He has a high IQ. The Fighting Nerds are on a winning streak right now, which I think it's awesome. I think they're 19-0, which I think it's dope, honestly. All of them, they're freaking good. They're awesome. For this fight, I had John Silva winning. So Bryce Mitchell against John Silva, I have John Silva. Cha-cling. Then we have Yair Rodriguez and Patricio Pitbull. I have never been a fan of Yair Rodriguez. I don't know if it's I just don't like his fighting style or anything. I don't think he's bad. He's an awesome fighter, and he's crazy fast. But I've never been a fan of him. So for this one, I have Patricio Pitbull, the Bellator champion, winning. I don't know, I was just leaning more towards him and stuff. So that's my second pick, Patricio Pitbull. Then for the co-main event, I think this was a great matchup. I was more on the side of Michael Chandler winning. I think his experience, it's been really, really good with all, he has fought some great stars of the UFC, and he has had he has a crazy record, a crazy resume, and he is a tank. He literally looks like a tank whenever he gets in shape and stuff. So I think that's what it was giving me vibes that he was gonna win. Also Paddy Pimblett hasn't fought that many big names in the UFC. I mean, he fought Tony Ferguson, but he was already on a losing streak. So I was a little bit iffy about that. So I'm gonna go with Michael Chandler for the co-main event. And then the main event, awesome, great guys. I was unsure on who to go for in this one. Alexander Volkanovski versus Diego Lopes. Both of them are incredible. Volkanovski has high IQ. He has he's been in a long time in the UFC, so he knows a lot about it, and he's a really great mind. He knows how to get out of sneaky situations or out of some situations that you would have been yeah, this is over. But yeah, I think Volkanovski is awesome overall. Diego Lopes, an up and coming, a new guy. He's being really good in a good streak, But I was not sure, I think this was the fight that Diego Lopes needed to know where his mind is at and what it's the level that he's fighting for right now, So I think this was an awesome matchup. Both of the co-main event and the main event, I think they're great. I think they are awesome fights. I think they were great fights to see where are the fighters level at this time. But for this one, I'm gonna go with Alexander Volkanovski. So now that I have said my predictions, which were Jan Silva, Patricio Pitbull, Michael Chandler, and Alex Volkanovski, let's dive right into what actually happened. For the first fight, we have Bryce Mitchell against Jan Silva. Jan Silva, he was ready. You know, he came out like a man on a mission, really. Like, he was ready to knock him out or play with him or whatever. He looked awesome. He looked sharp. He looked like he was calculating everything. And he was aggressive when he needed it to be, you know. Bryce looked good, you know what I mean? Like, he looked alright, you know? Like, it wasn't like he looked too bad or anything. But just Silva, he looked like crazy good. You know, he was going out there, he was actually putting the work, and he looked awesome since first round, you know. So I think that's props to Silva, honestly. Jan Silva was able to put the pressure in round 1 and 2, and then 2 it's whenever Jan Silva got the finish on him, which it was awesome, honestly. So yeah, here I have the stats. I'm gonna put them up for you here. I think Jan Silva was gonna dominate this fight regardless, you know, even though Bryce Mitchell had the most total strikes, and Bryce Mitchell also had more significant strikes. I think Jan Silva looked good regardless if he had submitted him or not. So yeah, so that's good for Jan Silva, and this also confirms how scary he can be. He just looked big, he looked good, he was dominating, he was calculating everything, and I mean, like, you know, like all the fighting nerds do, they're great at what they do. So yeah, props to them. So we got one correct. Then we have Yair Rodriguez with Patricio against Patricio Pitbull. I had Pitbull winning for this one, but Yair Rodriguez showed, like, Yair Rodriguez was amazing, honestly. Like, his kicks were fast. Like, I saw him throw like a couple kicks at the start of round 1, I think, and it was crazy fast. Like, I was not expecting that. I don't think Patricio Pitbull was able to get the upper hand. And then I think in order for Patricio Pitbull to do that, he had to maybe push it a little bit more, and he was not that pushy with it. He was just waiting kind of, and he was like, you know, like, he was probably a little bit, I'm not gonna say scared, because, you know, like, they probably are scared, but still, you're getting up in the ring, you know, and fighting someone, of course you're gonna be scared. So I couldn't do that, so props to them. Yeah, Pitbull, he had like a couple great movements and stuff, but I feel like Yair just outclassed him in every single way. Like, here we have the stats. I'm gonna put them right here. So as you can see, Yair had 62% total strikes, while Patricio Pitbull had 38. Just crazy number, you know. Takedowns, Yair only did 1, Patricio did 4. Submission attempts 1. Significant strikes, 70 significant strikes for Yair to 17 for Pitbull. That is a wild number, honestly. But he's not my favorite fighter, but props where it's due, you know, like, we gotta give it to him. You know, Yair is a beast, and no one can deny that, you know. So yeah, that's my one wrong prediction now. So we have one correct, one wrong. Then let's go with Michael Chandler, Paddy, Pimblett. This one, it kind of hurt a little bit, you know, like, I had Chandler winning like all day. Like, I thought Chandler was gonna dominate this and stuff, and then like I saw Chandler going out in the first round, and I was like, damn, he looks good, you know, he was dominating, he went like a beast, he just went straight into it, you know. And then I thought he was gonna steamroll like Paddy the Baddy Pimblett. But Paddy did awesome. Like, I was not expecting this from him at all, you know, like, I was a little bit sketchy about him and stuff, but I think this confirmed to me that he's a real fighter, and then like he's, you know, like, he's ready to put up challenges and stuff. He survived that first round, and then after that he started finding his rhythm, which it was good. I think that's good against a fighter that it's like this aggressive like Chandler. You gotta find your rhythm, you gotta find your way to go in, and I think that's what helped Paddy. But yeah, the crowd was going crazy at this one, and they were like loud as heck, you know. And then Paddy got the KO, technical KO, round 3. So yeah, that was a good one. I think Paddy also confirms that he can be dangerous and lethal, so we need to be watching him closely because he's going to be a big star. So there we got 2 wrongs, 1 correct for now, predictions. Let's see how it goes. Then we got the main event, Alex Volkanovski versus Diego Lopes. This fight was awesome. It was from round 1 to round 5, like, it was all over like a great fight, you know, like, I loved it. the energy that both of the fighters put out there. And this also gave us an insight on where Diego Lopes is standing right now. I think Alexander Volkanovski reminded everyone who he is. I think he put up a class act show out there. You know, he was showing up, he was hitting them punches. A couple points, like a couple parts of the fight, I was like, damn, like, is he gonna get knocked out? Because Diego Lopes, he's a power puncher. Like, if he lands punches on you, you're gonna feel it, you know? Like, he punches hard. And at a couple times, like at one point, like Diego Lopes punched Volkanovski, like I think it was a left hook, and then he comes right with the right hook over. And I thought Volkanovski was like, you know, like I thought he was gonna get knocked out, but he didn't. I think he then tried to do a takedown or kind of grabbed him, started grappling a little bit so he could recover, and then he went straight back up to the feet, which was awesome. Diego Lopes also, he was aggressive, like, you know, like those punches that I'm telling you about, like he was putting the work, and I love that about him. I love that it was like a fight where both of them, they went out there and they gave their 101%, you know, they gave everything. We have the stats here, I'm going to put them up right here. So it was by unanimous decision, so most of the judges saw, or all of them saw Volkanovski winning, which is great. I think he won. That fight was incredible. As you can see, total strikes, Volkanovski has 165 versus Diego Lopes 71, which is a crazy amount, honestly. Takedowns, Volkanovski only had 1. Significant strikes, this is where it gets crazy. 158 significant strikes for Volkanovski and only 63 for Diego Lopes. But yeah, honestly, you know, that's a champ right there. You know, people think because Islam and Topuria like knocked him down, he was washed out. He is the first fighter, I think, I could be wrong, but he is the first fighter that has been a champion after he is like 35 years old, you know, like, so he's the first 35-year-old guy that becomes champion, which is awesome. You know, that's a great props to him, honestly. I love this fight. It was incredible, not gonna lie. It was one of my favorite fights, and it was awesome. So we got 1 right, you know, so we got 2 right, 2 incorrect. You know, like, I don't know, I think that's pretty good. I mean, it's not good, but yeah, 2 out of 4, you know. You gotta start somewhere. But yeah, I think UFC 314 absolutely cooked. It was awesome, incredible fights. They had the good balance between like new people and like veterans of the UFC, you know, with Alex Volkanovski, Chandler, Yair Rodriguez. It was a great balance with people and the new generations, you know, Paddy, Diego Lopes, and John Silva, which are fairly new to the sport. I think that's awesome. It gives also an opportunity to them to test, you know, like see what is real fighting and kind of like start getting used to like this type of fights. I got 2 out of 4 predictions, which I'll take it, you know, not gonna lie. Better than nothing, right? Yeah. But yeah, like I said, John Silva, he showed who he is. Yair demonstrated like he's a veteran. He's one of the greatest, you know, like even though I don't like him, he's fast, his speed is crazy, and he's dominant. Paddy the Baddy got a big win, you know, and a lot of people that were doubtful about this, I think, well, I don't know if a lot of people are gonna be like, yeah, he's a great fighter still, you know, people don't give credit to where it's needed, but I will give it to him. It was a great fight for him, big win, and I think this is gonna help him a lot build that career. And then we got Volkanovski, you know, he showed that he was the champion, and he still is the champion. So that is awesome, you know. I love this UFC 314. I think it's one of a really, really good stacked card. It was awesome. But yeah, that's about it. I just want to talk a little bit about UFC 314 and just, you know, give my thoughts and just talk about it because I really love UFC. Anyways, let me know if you guys, what part was, or what fight was the best, and then which ones you guys find more entertaining. And yeah, just like, subscribe, and share this video if you want to. Share it, please. Anyways, that's about it. See ya.